And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CultureAttack. But we have slipped away from the paywall as Patreon. This used to be a Patreon exclusive show, but we are here live in living color. And here with me, my co-host, my confidant, my good friend, Drew Yari. What's going on, my friend?
Ahoy, hoy. I am here. I am ready to do this show that we have planned for today, and I am ready to take on all comers.
Ah, always ready, willing, and Gable. No, wrong gimmick. But we're ready regardless.
Thank you.
We're ready regardless. Yeah. So like I mentioned, in a few seconds ago, this used to be a Patreon exclusive show that was on Drew Yari's aforementioned Patreon, but we decided to keep the show alive and going. And again, we're available on for the time being on Spotify exclusively. Want to get that out the way. I will be adding it to other streaming platform, well, podcast hosting platforms uh, in due time. And as for the other episodes of Culture Attack, what I will do going forward, like maybe once a month, I'll just pop a basically like a retro episode. So that way there's more content and maybe some exclusive stuff down the line. We'll see. But yeah, like essentially, we've broken free from the paywall and we're here just discussing like we always do, pop culture, entertainment, and a little bit of wrestling because we do talk about wrestling here or there. And again, I'm excited. Took a bit longer, but we're here. Just wanted to make sure that the transition just goes, just smoothly. And I'm glad. I'm glad to be doing this show for everyone to listen to. And of course, you can find me at on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Still call it Twitter. It's something you can't just not say. But I'm on Twitter, X at Mr. Ruben Prime. If for whatever reason you want to follow me on Twitter, that's your prerogative. But definitely check me out there for updates relating to Culture Attack going forward. And you could follow Drew as well on X if you want. You know, X, ask for permission. But you can follow him on uh DY Experience. Did I get
Yep.
that right?
Mm.
Excellent, excellent. So those are our Twitter X handles there. And yeah, we got a doozy of a show for you. Um, just brand new start, brand new season, as we say. Deadpool Wolverine trailer came out a few hours ago. Watched it a few times. The first link that I saw was like it was censored. They bleeped out all the curses. Like, damn, they fucking curse. Like shit. But yeah, they had the safe for work trailer, and then they had the other one that was just just full on expletives thrown around, and a lot of hidden gems, a lot of more as I say, more meat to the bone with this trailer, and we get a little glimpse of the big bad, which is interesting. We'll get into that. Also, we'll talk about Civil War. We'll talk about the A24 film that came out not too long ago, and give our thoughts on the film, quick thoughts on the film, and Blair Witch actors. They want more money. And I know, listen, times are hard, times are rough. Like we could all use a little bit more money, but they're asking for those residuals for the Blair Witch Project, which it's a good movie. I thought growing up that that was like real, like actually happened. I was like, oh, but when you're young, you don't really understand, uh, that like I thought it was real. They got me when I was little, but yeah, they still want the original rules. So we will, talk about that briefly, and then anything else that may pop up, we'll talk about. But yeah, let's get to the Deadpool Wolverine, aka Deadpool 3 trailer. So you saw it.
Hmm.
What's your initial thoughts on the trailer?
I thought it was great. I am obviously looking forward to this movie. Um, it's it's probably not even probably it's my most anticipated movie of the year. Like it's I don't think this movie has any reason not to be the highest grossing film of the year. It's Deadpool. I mean people I think people prefer Deadpool over the MCU because Deadpool seems like it's more easier to follow, and I can understand that.
Yep.
Um, and I love the first two movies. I love Deadpool. Deadpool was one of my favorite comic book films. Two I liked. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I really liked two. And then the third one, you got Wolverine. You got Hugh Jackman, coming out of retirement to be Wolverine again. And they're essentially doing Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, except in this case it's Deadpool kills the Fox universe, but I'm not even entirely sure if it's he kills the Fox universe or just this is just, their way of getting rid of the old guard and bringing in, the newer, X-Men MCU character or X-Men characters into the MCU. So, I mean, I loved it. I mean, it's rated R. I mean, they've already confirmed more than once in this trailer is pretty much just them finally saying, "Okay, what else do we have to convince you this is rated R?"
Yep.
Like this is hard R. You got Wolverine cussing, you
Yep.
got Deadpool cussing, you have Deadpool saying that I'm wet right now.
Yeah.
Wolverine telling Deadpool go fuck yourself, and just i- it's just bloody and violent, and I love it. Um, I can already tell that in this trailer they had to CGI so much shit out of this trailer
Yeah.
because there was that one scene where the villain whose her name is Cassandra Nova and her like basically like her lair is a giant Ant-Man body. Like it's like they killed a giant Ant-Man, whether it's Scott or Hank, and their lair is inside Ant-Man.
Yep.
And you can see a few X-Men characters. You can see Lady Deathstrike. You can see Toad. You can see I believe Azazel from First Class. And then you have Pyro, which they already showed Pyro in the last trailer. So you already know they're coming back. I believe Liev Schreiber's coming back as Sabretooth, which cool.
Cool.
Um,
Cool.
and I don't know. I kind of hope this is the last trailer. Like I don't want to see any more trailers after this. I don't want to see anything else. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be TV spots, but just no more trailers after this.
Yeah.
Just you gave us a tease on the Super Bowl. Now you gave us an appetizer, a really
Yep.
good appetizer. You gave us some fried pickles, with some fried mushrooms. That's good.
Mhm.
Um, just I don't want any more. I want to wait for my dinner. I don't
Right.
want to be spoiled. I don't want ice cream already. I want my dinner. I want to deserve my dinner. I don't
Right.
just want you to hand me my dinner. I want to deserve my dinner. So
Right.
just no more trailers. I want to watch the movie when it comes out. I'm gonna stay the fuck off the internet
Yeah.
for that whole week because the internet loves to spoil. TikTok especially loves to spoil shit.
Oh yeah.
Like you go on TikTok and you see like a snippet of something, and what doesn't help is that they put the caption on like a spoiler from blah 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 movie. Somebody died. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stay the fuck off the internet. I'm gonna stay off of Twitter. I'm gonna stay off of YouTube, and I'm just going to just enjoy this movie for as is. I'm going to go to the theater and have my headphones on, blaring the loudest, most angry metal music I can think of, so I can drown out people trying to like spoil the movie for me. And I'm going to watch this and love the shit out of it. There's no reason why this movie could be bad. I mean, you have Hugh Jackman, you have Ryan Reynolds. I don't think Ryan Reynolds will. He will move heaven and earth to make sure this movie isn't bad.
Right.
And then you have Sean Levy, who's a great director. So I'm as you can tell, I love this trailer. I'm looking forward to it, and just that suit, man, that's beautiful. We've
Yeah,
been
I'm liking the suit. It's a nice throwback.
we've been waiting for that suit since 2000. Like I mean, for the longest time they were obsessed with Wolverine wearing a tank top and
Yeah.
the black spandex, which I'm assuming was Ultimate X-Men, which I get it, but it's like they teased us with that suit and at the end of the Wolverine, and now we finally got the suit, and I'm just happy. If you once I see him wearing like the mask, I'm gonna be super fucking happy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I'm just
that'll be hype when we'll see that in theaters. And yeah, you're right. I absolutely agree. Just no more trailers. Like, yeah, the movie comes out in July, but this is more than enough to satiate us until um the movie comes out in July. Like, we don't need any more trailers, no more teasers. Um, just let the anticipation build, because that's what is gonna make a lot of people, go out and pay money to see this in theaters. And of course, avoid spoilers. And you mentioned listening to like the most like metal, violent, uh, metal music you can
mhm.
think of. Slipknot is just play Slipknot and
Mudvayne, uh,
Bloodbane. Yeah.
just
Um,
yeah, just blare that shit all the way up to where you need to regain hearing. I mean,
yeah.
enough hearing for the movie, obviously, but
Yeah.
just avoid that shit at all
Yeah.
costs.
And
And
avoid, avoid Twitter, TikTok, all that. Just for certain things, like I don't care if I'm spoiled because it's eventually gonna happen. But for certain things, I will
yeah,
go out of my way to make sure that okay, I'm not gonna
yeah,
no social media. Um, like if people try to talk to me about it, like shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Go.
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna go to the other room or go somewhere else because I don't wanna be spoiled. But for other things, eh, But for this, all things considering, I
mm-hmm.
do. I want to be surprised. I want to have that genuine like reaction to stuff.
Like, I'm seriously at the point where it's like, if I see any spoilers, I'm gonna show up to your house and kick your ass. It'll be like the ending of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I'm gonna show up to your house. I'm be like, "Are you Brian Guy 24 on YouTube?" Yeah, and just
It's like yes.
beat
It's
the
like
shit out of
yes.
you in front of your mom and dad. Just I will do that. I
Like
don't care.
Triple H did with Randy Orton.
Oh yeah, yeah, but like Jay and Silent Bob, except it's gonna be me and Ruben and RJ. We're gonna show up to your house and beat the shit out of you,
Yep.
and then RJ's gonna fuck your mom,
Oh yes, yes. Oh yeah.
and he'll do that.
Oh yeah. He
He
will.
he's a
He will.
savage.
Yeah.
So
He's not called a savage for no reason.
like yeah, consent obviously, but he
Yeah.
will fuck your mom.
Obviously. Yeah. Oh, like we do not condone. Uh, like we do not condone doing such actions without consent. That is no here at Culture Attack. But that goes without saying. But people twist stuff. It's just come on, yeah, come on, guys. I had a little more common sense than that. But yeah, I'm like really excited. Um, like what I love, and we have the trailer, of course, muted because um just having muted here because copyright stuff.
Right.
Um, yeah, the 20th Century Fox logo behind, is all ruins and rubble. So definitely this has some ties with um Loki and whatnot, with the different the multiverse, which I feel like they're gonna do the multiverse thing right. um
Mm.
and like you said, kill, just kill off, the Fox universe and just integrate Fantastic Four, integrate X-Men into Marvel, into its being, into its core being. And I'm wondering how they're gonna do that. And I think this movie's gonna like usher that. Um, so that's one of the main reasons why I'm excited for this film. Um, all things considering, but let's see if there's any other. See if there's any other things. Well, that's a nice shot right there.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a nice shot right there.
Beautiful.
The gold guns too. Um, and this you mentioned uh the Ant Man. You mentioned that too, like this here. That's pretty sick. Like this scene kind of gives me Mad Max vibes
All right.
as well. It's hilarious, cute.
Dog pool.
Yeah. And who is wait, who is who is this?
That is though the villain's name is Cassandra Nova. Um, I I don't know much about her. I know she's Xavier's like half sister in the comic.
Mhm.
Like she has his abilities and everything. But yeah, the
Yeah.
actress what played Prince Diana in The Crown.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, again, I don't know much about her. I need to do some research on her. But I can already tell, like, there's gonna be this influx of people that are gonna be like, oh, inclusivity. You know, she's a woman, blah blah. Blah. And you already know Deadpool, like Ryan Reynolds is gonna make jokes about that.
Yeah. I mean, again, if it makes sense, if it, as I say, adds to the story,
Hmm.
um, I'm all for it. Um, and, it advances the plot if it makes sense, story wise. I'm all for it. But I'm one of those people that okay, we're just gonna tack on a person for diversity's sake, and it has no sense or bearing or weight to the story. I'll call it out if it's
Right.
just there just for the sake of being there. Um, then yeah, I'm gonna call out the bullshit. But this makes sense since, of course, this mutants. So of course you gotta have mutants in there. Um, so I'm interested to where how this is gonna play out because again, it's a trailer. This is not the whole movie, so I'm optimistic. But yeah, this line that we could play it.
Oh yeah, about cocaine.
Yeah,
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching
They
powder?
know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes. But I can't.
It'll be funny. I just thought of two things. It'll be funny if like Kevin Feige actually shows up in the movie, and like they try to have another slang for cocaine, and Kevin's like, "No, we know what that is."
yeah,
You sh- Or no, what would be really fucking cool, and I doubt it'll ever happen, is like because Deadpool does a lot of fourth wall breaking, and
yeah.
like he does a really dramatic scene, and he's like, "Oh, that was awesome. What'd you think, Marty?" And Martin Scorsese just shows up and goes, "It was pure cinema."
Yeah, that'll be pretty funny.
Oh man, I could picture Ryan Reynolds like wanting to do that. I don't think it'll happen, but that'd be so fucking cool.
That'll
Uh,
be cool.
but by the way, I sent you a clip on Discord.
Okay, let me see. I had to close Discord, but let me open it back up. But yeah, like the fourth wall breaking can be a good thing when it's done right. Like again, all things done, done right, right place, right time, moderation, all that jazz. It's very again, it's a good thing, but when it's just done because that's like a crutch, just like in in the world of podcasting, like when you have those crutch words that you lean on, or terms or whatever, um like that, it becomes a gimmick rather than staying on your own. And I think with a lot of these gimmick star movies and TV shows, it tends to like it tends to, it doesn't add anything to the story. It actually hurts it when tropes are used, fourth wall breaking, jump scares, things like that. That's something that um I'm not a fan of a modern like cinema, just because you see it
Right.
all the time with horror movies, you see it all the time with thrillers, and it's like, can we just like get back to the
Hmm.
basics, you know?
Yeah, I get.
Um,
Mhm.
but hold on, I don't know why Discord doesn't want to open. I
I mean,
just
you
close
don't
it.
gotta play it right now, but just yeah, I sent you a video there's that I thought of. It
Okay.
basically reminds you of RJ. But I'll just keep it. I'll just keep it like that. But
Okay, okay. All right, all right. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for Deadpool Wolverine. And again, it comes out July of this year. And like we mentioned before on our Patreon version of the show, way back when in the time machine, we talked about, will Deadpool and Wolverine save Marvel? I think to save it, you gotta deconstruct it and then build it back up, because the
Mhm.
foundation is like shit. And I think this movie, if they stay the course with the other projects, and they need to cancel a whole bunch of projects, which they
Mhm.
started to, and just have maybe one TV show, one Disney Plus show, two, three movies tops. Um, and then you don't have to have a movie every year. It's kind of like with the pay-per-view schedule and wrestling. Like you don't need to have a movie every other month or every other 2 months, just
and
less is more.
if and like Avengers or like spectacle movies, that should be the only movie you put out. So like if it's Avengers, that's the only movie that should come out. If it's yeah, just Avengers. Like, in this case, Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine, like that's the only movie that really should matter.
Yep.
Um, and just kind of go back to what you used to do. Just do 2 movies a year, but space them out. Like have one movie come out in May, and then you have the other movie come out in like August or September. Like space them out so you can make them feel special. Um,
Yep.
I know next year we're supposed to get. I think they try to do like because like there were a lot of delays because of the writer strike, and like it went from being there are going to be 3 movies this year to now just 1 movie, and then next year is supposed to be 5 movies, which I'm like, oy vey. And then
Yep.
I think there was more delays, and now it's like back to 4, I think. Um, so I don't know. Well, it's one of those things of I'll see, and then you have the DCU coming out with their movies. So it's one of those things of like I'm optimistic for Deadpool because there's no reason why that shouldn't be good. Everything
Mhm.
else after that, like the Thunderbolts and Captain America 4. I'm just like, and in Blade, I'm like, I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic.
Yep. And you gotta be, just because with so many rewrites and things like that, um, it's at this point, it's either shit or get off the pot. If you're gonna release these movies, do it. If not, again, world still spins. Sun rises, day turns into night. It's not the end of the world, but it's like we if you're gonna release these movies, just don't try to finagle. Don't try to like reinvent the wheel. Like with with X-Men, give us the X-Men. Just like with DC, they're trying to do all this stuff, all this, conflated, conjointed stuff, and it's like just give us Superman, give us Batman, give us the Flash that doesn't commit crimes, um,
Mhm.
give us Cyborg, just give us the whole Justice League. Give us um, Joker, give all the villains, all the heroes, anti-heroes, whatnot. Just give us that. Like the stuff that we get in the animated series for DC, like it's good stuff. As someone will say, it's such good shit. But it's like with the live action, it's just really, really bad. Just retelling. It's purposely. I feel like it's purposely done. It's like, come on, now you can't. You have all the source material. You got a vault of every DC animated show. You had Superman. You had Batman. You had the Justice League. You have all these shows. Teen Titans. Not the Teen Titans Go. That owns garbage, but the original Teen Titans. And it's like, no, you know what? Let's just, we're cool. We're all right. We got this thing that's better, and it's just like 10 times worse. But regardless, just keep it simple. Just keep it so simple that it's dumb. Like it's just, hey, it's so dumb that it's dumb proof at this point. Like you know what people want. You know what people love. Just give us that. Don't deviate from the source material. For the love of God, please.
Mhm.
And we've been like saying that like for the longest, but I'm cautious. I'm optimistic about this film. Not as cautious as the other Marvel projects, because again it's just been disappointment after disappointment. So we just gotta wait and see what this uh with this movie when it comes out, and just no more trailers to end the segment off. No more trailers, no more teasers, no more. Just let us wait until July, and we get the whole smorgasbord. Like, don't give us pieces of the meal. Just let us wait. Um, it's good to be hungry, a little bit hungry. 'Cause it makes it builds character at the end of the day. So let us now talk about. Guess we could talk about this now. So Civil War.
Mhm.
I saw it a few weeks back, and yeah, I see a lot of like people online, of course, online discourse when politics get involved. Let me just share this here for reference. Yeah, so I went into this film with an open mind, and it's kind of interesting that with everything going on, how just tense things are in America, dealing with politics and things like that, and just the whole world going. That I came with this film, watching this film with an open mind, and one thing that I'll say about this film, that it it's very is very uh real in certain terms of, okay, like this could happen. It's not like a alien invasion, even though I do believe in aliens. That's another
Mhm.
subject. But this movie has this one thing that our good friend John Draper mentioned on his show. Shout outs to John Draper and the guys over there. Um, that it's there was a lot of tense moments in this film, a lot of them, and it's just like like you could be having fun and cracking jokes one moment, and the next moment like you're just in fear of your life. Um, is that one scene? Oof, um, it's pretty gnarly. And it's real. It's not like aliens. It's not like big squid monsters, big kaiju monsters, things like that. It's just real, just human nature when it's at its darkest. And to me, illustrates that like this could happen. Just have that thought in the back of your mind. But at the same time, we know that it's a film. It's a film. This could happen. This could not happen. But it just shows human nature at its darkest, at its worst.
Hmm.
And I think that's what the movie was trying to portray. Um, Maybe there was like a few jabs, at as a certain former president, but hey, that goes without saying. But it just goes to show that when you take something, you take a possible scenario, future scenario, you put it in the big screen. Theatrics is just, hey, what if this happened? And to me, like that was like the thing, like the real, like uh the real motive behind this film. Like, hey, what if this happened? What if this happened? And it's a very possible reality, and it's like um more scary than interdimensional aliens and giant kaiju lizards. Um, that's why with certain like thrillers, and you're a big horror guy,
Hmm.
like just grounded horror films, those stalker films, those slasher films, like those hit home more than supernatural being or whatever because it's more real, and that's like the hook that films like that have. And I think with this, with different factions fighting in America, it possibly could happen. And to me, that's what the setting of the film. I like the um surprisingly Kristen Dunst. She was amazing in this film. Um, Good acting here. Um, what's this guy's name? Joel, the actor that played Joel, he was funny. Is Oh man, that Wagner is just hilarious. Um and Kaylee, who played Jesse in the film, but quirky. I liked her, just like a aspiring war photographer. I like the supporting cast, the main character and the supporting cast did really well. The acting was, I'll say, top notch in my opinion, and the villains, the enemies. There's some, excuse my French, but there's some sick motherfuckers. And again, it just goes to show like human nature at its worst, and that's what made the film like really good. Like this one scene, the only spoiler I'm gonna bring up, but when Tony and Co like reached up with Lee and the gang, they were driving, side by side, and they got captured by these soldiers.
Hmm.
That scene, um oof. I normally don't get uncomfortable with scenes, like certain scenes, but that it just, again, it felt real. It wasn't like a wuss or anything, but it just felt real. And it's like, okay, your life is on the line. Like, what do you do? Your life is on the line. What's gonna happen? So that, I think that was like one of the best scenes. It made me uncomfortable. So that's a good scene. Um, yeah, I like I mentioned earlier to Drew before the show, I didn't see the whole film because I had to, like, it was before my shift. I had some time to kill. And the trailers, man, like the trailers took up like a half hour. I was like, damn, if didn't have the trailers. I mean, I know why, but it's like, damn, could have squeezed in the rest of the movie. But regardless, I got the gist of the film. I enjoyed the film. I really enjoyed the film. For me, I'm gonna rate it a good solid like 7 out of 10 for me.
Right.
Just 7. I think that's a perfect score. Overall, what are your thoughts of the film? What are your thoughts on everything? The actors. What was your like favorite scene, or what crazy scene you like that was memorable in the movie?
Probably just about the same as you. There are some things I didn't like as much as you did. Um, I mean, I thought Kristen Dunst was great. This is maybe the best thing I've seen her in. Because she wasn't the usual kind of quirky, Kristen Dunst that we've seen in a lot of shit. In this movie, she's kind of a cunt, and
Yeah,
there's a reason why she's a cunt because and I'm sorry for cussing. I'll try to keep that down, but like,
yeah,
especially the c word, we don't want to get demonetized. But
yeah,
uh, there's a reason why she is the way she is because she's seen a lot of just effed up stuff,
yeah. A lot of
and
stuff. Yeah,
she has to, she eventually had to teach herself how to shut down emotionally and to be cold and just to treat this as like this is real life.
yeah.
This is what's going to happen. And there was a lot of stuff that happened in the movie, especially in the beginning. I don't know if we're going to get into spoilers or anything, but like, um, I mean, do you care if I give away some spoilers? I won't
No,
give away
no.
the I won't give away the ending because I know you didn't see the ending. But like,
Yeah, you can give some spoilers, but not the ending. It's
all
fine.
right, so the beginning of the movie, they they're at some kind of like rally, and Kirsten Dunst, like, she literally is getting in between everything and everyone just to take pictures. And then that's when you meet the character of Jessie, played by Kaylee Spaney, which I'll talk about her in a bit,
Yeah,
who she's an up and coming, aspiring photographer that follows Lee around because she idolizes Lee. And somebody with a backpack that has a bomb in it, you know, blows everyone up. So that's already like holy
yeah,
cow, like holy cow, man.
yeah,
Um, so there's that. The scene you were just talking about with Jesse Plemons, I thought that was probably the best scene out of the whole movie.
yeah.
Um, because from what I heard, originally he wasn't even cast in the movie. Like there was another actor that was supposed to be in that was supposed to have that role, but he dropped out. So Kirsten Dunst, who's actually married to Jesse Plemons in real life,
Mm,
she was like, how's about we use my husband? And they brought him in, and he just had that one scene for like 10, 12 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And, he was a show stealer because he just seems like an ordinary guy, but he's so screwed up in the head. And just the things he says are so like matter of fact and just really cold and calculating. Like, in the trailer, when he says, when what's his name says, we're American, and he goes, okay, what kind of American? What kind of
yeah,
American are you? And living in the times they're living in this movie, it's like, whoo, that cuts deep.
yeah,
And just everything else that happens in that scene, like I was tense, kind of like, yeah, I was tense. I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? And just the mood with everyone in that scene changed. Wagner Mora, who was great in this movie, like he was, he was kind of like the more optimistic view of the movie. Like he was the one trying to like counteract Kirsten Dunst's like, hey, take it easy, lighten up. And then after that scene, like his mood completely changed. And it made sense. Like it didn't seem forced. It
yeah,
was like, man, if you went through that, I don't even want to meet the guy who was okay after that.
yeah,
Another actor, I don't know if you mentioned him, was Stephen McKinley Jefferson, I think is his name.
yeah.
He was
That
great. He
gentleman.
kind of reminds me of Jeffrey Wright in a way. He was kind of like I guess the narration for the movie somewhat. Like
Hmm.
just he was in the movie very little, but he had such an impact on the movie. Then you had Nick Offerman, who was the president. And I'm saying this because I'm biased because I love Nick Offerman. I would have liked to see him more in the movie.
Yeah,
Like, it seemed like he was just there and then he wasn't. Um, the acting. I mean, you're gonna hear two things about this movie, and I put that in a review I made, which I make reviews, by the way. Where I was just like, you're gonna hear two things about this movie: is that it's well acted and it looks great, and it does look great and it's well acted.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not one of those people that screams, oh, practical effects, oh, natural lighting. In this case, natural lighting works, especially about a movie that's supposed to be grounded, not like a big budget, box office movie, even though maybe that could help sometimes. But like in a movie like this, natural lighting helps.
It
Uh,
does.
being more grounded helps. Less and less and less CGI. Even though this is, I think, the highest budget for a A24 movie was, I think, like 50 mil.
Yeah, about
Um,
50 mil. Yep.
right. It's really it's probably the loudest movie you'll watch all year.
Yeah.
I went to go see that shit in RPX, and that shit was loud. Like anytime there was guns, anytime just guns in general, violence, tanks, it was just loud as fuck.
Yep.
Sorry, don't mean to swear.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool.
And just again, just how matter of fact everybody is in this new world of like, oh, we're gonna kill these people and stand next to their bodies and pose with them.
hmm
Just there was another scene where there was a shootout and they had to kill some soldiers, and they're just like treating it like it's an average everyday chore.
Yep.
And they're just like posing and shooting the breeze. I'm like, all right, man. Like it was pretty nutty.
Yeah.
I did not like Kaylee Spaney's character.
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't, because to me, I looked at it as like they didn't want her there in the first place, but she was joining them just because it's a road movie. It's a road trip movie
Yep.
essentially. And just she'd always put them in situations that would cause them so much trouble.
Yeah, like the scene where you mentioned with the soldier asking
Right.
the gang, like, okay, which which America, which Americans, and she climbed into the other dude's car.
Which I didn't
Basically,
get that scene at all. I didn't
yeah,
get why she did that.
yeah. That was, to me, I was like, hmm, it's just too upbeat and cheery. Something fucked up is gonna happen. As again, excuse the cussing. That was my thought when that scene went down. I was like, yeah, like some like effed up is gonna happen, and it did. I was like, oh, here we go. Like, it's just
And then before that, like when they went to that gas station, she's like, "I'm just gonna go take a picture of something I saw," and then that guy follows her, and
yeah,
he's like telling her about, oh, we caught some vandals, and it's like two random guys hanging, and they're still alive,
yep,
and one of them's like, "Come on, dude, I have kids," and he's like, "Yeah, I used to go to high school with that guy, and we weren't
yep,
really friends, wasn't really popular." And then Kirsten Dunst had to like bail her out, like to make sure she
yeah,
didn't, like get hurt or whatever. And then they get into the car and she starts crying, and Kirsten Dunst is like, "Oh crap, she's crying."
yep.
It's just like, that
You're
probably
crying. Oh no, she's crying. Damn.
that'd probably be me. But like, and then just and you didn't watch the end, so I'm not gonna spoil it. But just I'm gonna say this: I hated the ending.
Mhm,
The ending,
mhm.
it happens. Like the last 15 minutes, I thought were good. They were really intense, and then you get to the ending, and it's like I'll say it like this:
Yeah.
it felt like somebody from the studio went, "We're out of money, so end it right here."
Like okay, good analogy here. So it's like you finally you get to date the girl of your dreams, right?
Hmm.
Oh, and right when she says, "Hey, come over to my place," but then right when you get up there, they just suddenly, oh, like you can't perform, you can't get it up. It's like all that lead up to the meeting up, the date, the food, the dessert, and then when you finally get to to the crescendo, it's like, oh, you're just stopped dead in your tracks.
I mean, that would have been a better ending.
Yeah.
I would say think The Sopranos.
Oh, 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 ooh, ooh, ooh.
Like, I won't
Okay.
say what happened. I'm pretty sure you might have a good feeling on what happened, but, like, it happened,
Yeah.
and, like, I just kinda put both of my hands up and went, "That's it?" And I just walked out, I'm like, ugh." And
It's,
there were, like, 3 dude bros, like, sitting, like, 2 seats away from me, and they're clapping. I'm like, I guess we like that shit, but, I didn't I usually don't throw the word hate around, but I hated the ending. I did not like
yeah.
the ending because it's like, we coulda used maybe 5 more minutes, like in wrestling, 5 more minutes, clap,
Yeah,
clap,
yeah,
clap, clap,
yeah.
clap,
Just needed
and
more
then
time. Yeah,
Kaylee Spaney, again, does something else that fucks over the group, and I'll just leave it at that. But,
of course.
um, I'll kinda give the same grade as you, 7 out of 10. I would say, C plus at best. I think originally I gave it a B minus. I might have to downgrade it to a C plus. I
Okay.
was a little, just to me, like, endings like that kinda
It can
ruin the
ruin a
movie.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's like, we've been through this journey essentially, and then we get to it, and it's like, "That's it?"
Mm,
You know what I mean? It's like, I just cut this nice old lady's yard because her husband is dead and she can't do anything on her own, and all you gave me was, like, a nickel? Like, seriously?
yeah.
Like, come on, I deserve more than that. Like, we deserve more than that. But,
Oh, those old people
um,
candies that
yeah,
they love to eat.
a
The
litmus lozenge or
butterscotch. Yeah,
butterscotch. Oh, well, actually, man, butterscotch is actually not that bad. I was gonna
not
say
too bad.
a Werther's Original, a litmus
Those ooh,
yeah, a litmus
uh,
lozenge.
yeah.
Ugh,
That's now we're talking. Those are the candies I used to get when uh Ruben used to go to church when I was younger, and the older the older ladies from church, they used to give me those candies, and I was like, thank you, but no. Or um at one time for my birthday, I was just like, this will be imprinted in my memory until I die. For my birthday, you know when you know when you get, like, someone just, they had to get a gift for someone, but they're crunched on time, so they go
Mhm,
to like the pharmacy and they get like whatever, like, rinky dink uh items that they could find at the, like, the pharmacy, whatever, or the drugstore. So, and this person was sweet, but just stop it. Just still to this day in 2024, I still have that a little bit. Like, it fades away every day, but just basically, she got me one of those remote control, like racetracks. You put the car like on the rail and just drives around the track. And I got it. It looked cool, but it stopped working like a day after I open it up, use it, play with it, and it didn't work. And I was like, Are you kidding me?" And I found out it cost like $20, back in the '90s, so probably costs more now. But I'm just like, I'd rather at that point get the lozenges or the butterscotch candy for my birthday than that, because that was a piece of shit. That was a piece of garbage. Like, I still remember that from, to this day, to this day. um, but yeah, like I think that was like one of the worst, like, birthday gifts I got. Like,
mhm.
I rather candy at that point.
Ugh. Ugh, yeah,
Yeah,
just, mm, not the that's not even doesn't even constitute as candy, but,
yeah,
yeah, just overall, I was a little let down by this movie because it was
yeah,
on my list of anticipated movies of the year, and it missed its mark
yeah.
on I think it missed its mark on things even before the ending. But
Mm,
the ending was just like, "This is all we get,"
mm,
just and I in some ways, and again, this is just how I feel, it's just, one thing is like, why is there a civil war exactly? There
yeah,
wasn't
that
really an
wasn't
expla
specified, but
Yeah, like, it
basically,
was never explained, not even in the
yeah.
ending. Like, and again, we don't always need to be spoon fed with everything, but like make it intriguing to where. Let me kind of retract my statement. Like,
Yeah.
I know for some things less is more, and it works as long as you make it intriguing enough. And I don't know if maybe they'll do a prequel, which I doubt it. But in this case, it's like, why is there a civil war
Yeah.
exactly? Why is Texas and California forming an alliance? Which, but just that alone makes it science fiction because that would never fucking happen.
Yeah.
Um,
California and Texas. No.
no,
Like,
no,
I-
this shit's fantasy already.
yeah, I heard that. I heard that in the beginning of the movie. I was like, wait, what? Like, wait. So California, okay, California. Wrap your head around that. California, Texas, made an alliance.
Like,
That doesn't make any sense. I was like, okay, that's bullshit.
it's like Texas being a red state, essentially. I mean, not even essentially. Texas is the most reddest state there is.
Yeah.
And yeah, California, who's very much a democratic state, they're not going to fucking form an alliance or shit.
No.
And just like there was never any explanation as to why there is a civil war. Like I guess they had like little sprinkles of like, the president disbanded the FBI. The president was firing, drone attacks on American, people or American citizens. But it's like
Mhm.
still there was never any explanation as to why there was a civil war. It didn't make any sense. And also just the fact that people were using old school cameras, and it's weird to say old school because you know there are still people who use cameras. Because I was just at a wedding, and then like there are people that are actually using cameras, like legit
Yep.
cameras, not their phones, but cameras. But it's like nowadays for journalism, people use their phones.
Yep.
They use their phones to record and to do interviews and shit like that. So to me, I'm just like, is this like an alternate reality where this happened a long time ago before there were smartphones? But I don't know, that was one part that kind of threw me off. And in some ways, this movie's not really about anything.
Yeah.
In some ways, because it's like, yeah, it's a civil war across the whole world. We get it, but it's like, what's it really about?
I think that they wanted to like imply, like, well, yeah, that's the other thing that was interesting, that this movie comes out now in 2024 when it's one of the most tense, hottest, just politically divided times, in our lifetime. And it's an election year. And yeah, they figured, oh, just put two to two together, like, you know, like, hey, dummy, put two to two together. That's pretty much what the film was trying to tell you without telling you. And I was like, okay. I mean, and it's cute, but I think they wanted the audience to, like, pretty much like put two and two together with time period we're in now. And to me, like, if it makes sense, cool. If it makes sense to put this movie out, I'm not against it. But at the same time, it's like when put you put out a movie based on what could potentially happen, or just propaganda, whatever the hell. To me, it's just like, there's ulterior motive. You're not slick at all. Like, we see you, we see you, we see what you're doing. So it's kind of like, yeah, like it's basically the audience put two and two together with what they think could happen. And to me, I hate politics because it's very tribal. You kind of like with wrestling, like me and you, we know that very well. All this tribalism.
Mhm.
Um, I think, I guess because we're in wrestling a lot, like, we're embedded in wrestling. I just think that with all this tribalism is, it's just like, can we please just chill out, chill the f out, and just get together. Let's just work together, work as as a team. But we can't, because a lot of times that's what people have. That's their whole identity. Is whatever color, red, team blue. And like with wrestling, with sports, oh, I'm WWE all the way. I'm AEW all the way. Oh, I'm the Lakers all the way, or I'm the Knicks all the way. And it's like at some point, tribalism, it can breed very, very nasty things. It can bring out the worst in uh, human nature. Like I mentioned earlier with this film, this is basically a display of human nature at its worst, like the deepest, darkest desires that people would do. And it is a scary part. And nowadays, if you have a different opinion, you will get like canceled, as they say. Um, but I'm just I just don't want any of that. Like, I'm not for canceling. I'm for diversity, but diversity of thought, diversity of just understanding people, listening to people, talking to people. Because you get a lot done just by talking to people. Like, you get to know more about yourself when you talk to people, and it's like, whoa, you never know what things you have in common with a person just by talking with them. But nonetheless, I enjoyed the film. Yeah, there was some things I didn't enjoy. That's what every film. But this film was a movie that I was interested in, like since the trailer debuted. And A24 has been putting out some bangers. So, um, I like overall, I'm happy with the film. And when I see the rest of the film, like we're gonna talk a little bit more. But yeah, yes, that's our like little review of Civil War. It's out in theaters. If you're into this type of film, or you're curious to see the film after you heard our thoughts, please take your time to watch the film. It's Culture Attack recommended. It's definitely Culture Attack recommended.
Mhm.
Let's see. Quickly, while this time, um, did you see X-Men 97?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. The latest episode I saw, I enjoyed it, but the last episode I saw, and I had a reaction. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter like last week, or 2 weeks ago. I was like, damn, like that just happened. Like everything was cheery, upbeat, and I was like, nah, this is episode 5. Nah, this is this can't be this can't be that is something's amiss. And lo and behold, yeah, like
Hmm.
that happened. Let's see.
It was a fuck. Yeah, it messed us all up.
Yeah, episode 5 of season 1, X-Men 97. Remember it.
Yeah,
And of course, it's top rated for a reason.
yeah. They just. This is why streaming helps, because if this was on network television, they would have dumbed down the violence. Now that it's on streaming, they could be a little bit more edgier. They can be a little more darker and more violent. And that episode, they were just like, you saw people getting evaporated,
Yep,
right in front of your eyes. You saw blood. You saw, you know, Magneto having concentration camp flashbacks,
yep,
which that was dark.
yeah,
And then
very dark.
just,
Yeah,
spoilers, you see Gambit getting impaled,
yeah,
which it wasn't just like, oh, you just hear it, but like, no, you see that shit like actually in his like abdomen
mm-hmm.
and blood coming out, and it's just like, oy. Uh,
Yeah,
that was just that whole episode was just too emotional. Like,
yeah,
you just, and I'm not one for love triangles or anything, but it's like they found a way to carefully construct all the love triangles. Like, you had everything going on with Magneto and Gambit and Rogue, and
yep,
that makes sense. And you had everything going on with Cyclops and Madeline and Jean.
yep,
Um, and it all made sense because, like, Cyclops, he spent so many years with Madeline thinking that that was Jean, and then they had a kid together, and then the real Jean comes back, but he's like, it's weird. Like he's like finding ways to see the Jean that he knew, which is Madeline, but it's like in the astral plane or some like astral projection or some shit like that.
Yep.
And Jean comes in like, "What the fuck you doing? What are you doing with this bitch?" He's like, I can have both wives." Like, and just, the scene where he goes off on that news reporter, like saying like, "We risk our lives for you, and you guys aren't grateful for it. Like, you guys don't deserve us."
Yep.
And I'm like, ooh, like that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
And just everything going on with Magneto, where it's like Rogue is like very matter of fact and plain simple. She's like, "Listen, I'm horny. I just want to fuck, and I can't fuck you, Gambit, because I will kill. I might kill you."
Yeah.
Magneto's the only one that can actually handle me. And
Yeah.
then just the scene where they're like at that party and
That's
she just floats in. There's that song playing, which
yeah.
I have that song in my head, by the way, that Happy Nation song.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it's like the most non-sexual sexual thing I've seen in a cartoon.
Yeah. It's intimate. It's touching, like especially with Rogue or her powers. Like that's what she basically craves is
Mhm.
just be able to feel someone, not
Right.
zapping their energy. So I get it. Like I could sympathize with Rogue. Um, but at the same time it does suck for for Gambit because we thought that they'll be together, you know, and just how it ended up, and it made Gambit essentially like basically like a cuck, just watching the love of your life be with someone
Right.
that can actually like feel her and connect with her and touch her. It's like it
Well,
sucks.
she also told Magneto, Gambit was right. I need to, this isn't the love I want, or something like that. And Gambit, unfortunately, he went out like a G, and he died thinking that he couldn't have Rogue, but Rogue wanted him the whole time. And yeah, Gambit did go out like a G. Like he showed that he's more than just a guy with a stick and a trench coat and a cool accent.
I
Um,
love that accent. Like
oh sure, Gambit's doing just fine, sure. Um, Gambit's in peril at the moment. I'll be fine, sure. Um, and then he just goes, "Name's Gambit, remember it." And then he just destroys that giant ass fucking sentinel. And it's like, is Gambit okay? And
yeah.
then that's when you hear Rogue crying and saying, "I can't feel you." I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that I was like, oh fuck.
I needed to go walk outside because I was upset. I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's
Yeah.
like I need to watch something uplifting after this.
Yeah, that was really heavy. Like he went out like a true champ. Um,
Um,
like heroes. That was a warrior's death. Pretty much saved everyone that was left. That's a warrior right there.
it's like those people didn't do nothing to nobody. Like, come on, why'd they have
Yeah,
to die? They did nothing.
yeah,
They did nothing to nobody. It was nice seeing Nightcrawler. I
yeah,
haven't seen Nightcrawler in a while. It was a good way to bring him back. Um, let's see. And yeah, just that whole episode, that was, one of the better things that Marvel has done in a long time. Just
yeah,
good writing and good action. And just, I don't want to say Invincible because Invincible is fucking, like, it can be pretty gnarly. Like,
yeah. We're gonna
like,
talk about that.
I don't know, like on Invincible, who's ever in charge of doing the sound design for whenever someone gets punched, just the sound of like flesh and bone breaking. I'm like, who's ever doing that? They need a raise,
Yeah,
and they need an award just named specifically for them. But yeah, X-Men 97, it's great. I can't complain too much. It helps that the writers know the source material, and you're not
mm,
just hiring writers that you know made the fifth or that were in charge of the fifth season of Walking Dead or whatever. It's like,
hmm
no, you have writers that worked on comics and that read comics and that know the material. And then they already got greenlit for a third season, and we're
Oh,
still on
nice.
season 1. Like, Jesus Christ! But I'm enjoying this. I love it. It gives me flashbacks. Um, I mean, the only thing I didn't like about this season was episode 4 with that Mojo episode, which I'm like, it's weird because there was that Mojo episode, and then it got mixed with that episode with Storm and Forge. I'm like, why didn't they just make that the episode
Yeah,
about Storm and Forge? Like, that needed to be its own episode, because I don't buy them as a couple,
yeah,
and I say that because it seems very forced. It's just like, well, everyone else has a love thing, so we need something for Storm, and it's like, okay, I can buy them as a couple, but it's like I need to be convinced, and not just like, I love you and you love me and we're both attractive and we're mutants and let's, fuck or whatever. A fly just flew on my nose. Jesus Christ.
mm,
Yeah, just I would have liked more from that. That could have just been its own episode. Like the Mojo one, I was just like, this isn't needed. Like this is a filler episode.
yeah.
Like,
Very filler. Yeah,
this is, hey, you want to watch Goku and Piccolo get their driver's license? Not really. Well, too
yeah.
bad. Well, fuck you. You're gonna get it. Too bad. It's like,
Pretty
okay.
much.
Which that episode wasn't that bad. But yeah, that was a filler episode. But yeah, just
Yep.
yeah, episode 6 already came out last week.
Yep.
And then we have 4 more. And 8 through 10 is supposed to be a 1, 2, 3, or like a 3-parter, if you will.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and of course with episode episode 6, like we knew we knew Professor Xavier wasn't like that. Like we knew that.
It's
Um
comics. It's
yeah, it's
comics. Nobody
comics,
dies.
yeah. Yeah. Like we knew that. And yeah, like Storm getting her getting her powers back as well. Like that was pretty cool. And I love cartoons, TV shows, sitcoms, whatever that touch on things that humans, wrestle with, facing their fears, fighting their demons. And it could be just as, you know, whatever makes them anxious, nervous, their past. And I like that. Like this episode was good for that reason. Like sometimes you gotta face your fears in order to move on to the future. Like you stay stuck in the past or you look too far into the future, like you get stuck and you gotta fight your past to live in the present so that way your future could be, rock solid. And like for me, like Storm, going through that character arc, like, it was really dope. And Storm was cool. She's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, she's
So it was,
badass.
yeah. And I love that accent too,
Like,
as
I mean,
well.
I'm kind of sad now that she got rid of the Mohawk, because Mohawk Storm is badass.
Yeah. Yeah. But the
Yeah.
long hair, it suits her.
Mm,
Yeah. Like
now
for
she's,
me at
yeah.
least.
Now she's back to headband Storm. So I'm like, all right, cool, but no, just I don't know. Mohawk Storm is badass.
Yeah. No, trust me. Uh if a female Karaka Mohawk, that's like 20 points right there. But yeah, the long hair, long I mean, I like long hair. Like you gotta to rock short hair, it has to be cut right. It has to be cut like precisely. You gotta have a good like hairdresser, like for that to pull it off. Um, but enough about hair and things like that.
Mhm.
So far I'm enjoying this series. X-Men 97. I'm really enjoying it. Um, I told a coworker like, hey, like definitely watch it because me and him we watch. We talk about Invincible. I was like, hey, you watch X-Men 97? He's like, no, but I should. He's like, yeah, you definitely should. So it's a good It's a good series. I definitely recommend it. Like it's something I look forward to every week. Now that Invincible, like the season, it's done. Just waiting for the third season, but we can talk about Invincible.
And that ended
Um,
on a fucking downer. Jeez.
yeah, um, yeah. Um, I like it was good. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I was like, damn. I was like, damn, bro.
You know what the problem was with this season? It wasn't marketed well.
I agree. I agree with that.
Like compared to like the other like things from Prime, because like they market the shit out of the boys, and deservedly so, because I love the boys.
Yep.
They did the same thing with Gen V. They did the same thing with Reacher. They're doing the same thing with Fallout. This season felt just very. It was like very quiet. It was like, hey, Invincible's coming out. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. And I didn't just the whole splitting the season in two. I didn't like.
Yeah, I wasn't
I,
a fan of that either. Like, all of my friends that like we watch Invincible religiously. And I didn't even know that the season started until my friends told me, "Yo, like you watched Invincible?" It's like, like the new season is out, or the continuation of the season is out. I was like, I didn't know. So it's yeah, like absolutely, I agree. The marketing for this wasn't good. And they
and
ramped it
just
up.
and just what Prime's doing with their service now, where they're including ads. Even when you already pay for Prime and you've been paying for Prime, where it's like, yeah, I thought I was paying for this shit, so I don't have to have ads, and now I have ads, and now you're like, if you pay $2 extra, you can get like, no, you can, or you can keep my service the way it is. It's like Jesus Christ, but yeah, I really like this season. I like Invincible.
Yeah,
I think I like Invincible a little bit more than the boys, and I'll say why. Because both shows are very good and they're similar in their own ways, but I think Invincible, I think there's more consequences in
yeah,
Invincible, whereas in the boys it just feels like when there's destruction, it nothing really happens, and the boys is very much shock, you know, is very much done for shock value, and it's almost like what do you call it, like a parody,
yeah. Pretty much, basically,
you know,
absolutely.
and it's a great show. I'm just like I think Invincible has more heart
Yeah,
to it, and it has better writing and like better, you know, better character, development. Um, and it's like it has like a very thick cast of actors because they'll have like an A-list star coming to play like a nothing role. Um, I mean, this scene in particular, Jesus Christ, this scene was intense.
yeah, yeah.
Just
I like. Sorry, I like this episode. Just lolly dolly dow. Just watching it, and then this scene happens. Like, oh,
it's like fucking X-Men. It's like, hey, everyone's happy, we're all happy, and then no, you're not happy. It's
yeah,
just like Mark and Amber. It's like this season made me like Amber. It,
yes.
like she went
Believe
from
it
being
or
the nagging
not.
girlfriend. Like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's like she went from being the nagging girlfriend. It's like I like Amber. I like them two together. They're cute.
Yeah,
And
I
and I get her.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get, because like Mark's always gone and she has to put up a front. It's like I have to be strong because I know what I signed up for. And then this episode happens and they're happy. They finally get to go on a date and be happy and be cute and do things that cute couples do. And it's just like, okay. And then all of a sudden you hear Mark Grayson, and you just see this bitch show up out of nowhere and just put her hand over Amber's throat. Amber's like, Mark. I'm like, oh, oh God, please don't anything happen. I was starting to like Amber. Please don't anything happen to her. Oh my God.
yeah, yeah. I was like, please, like I was starting to to like Amber, tolerate Amber, because in the first season she was so insufferable. I was like, God damn it. But now, like, she's like grounded, more humanized. She's like more understanding of Mark. But this scene was like, oh no, like this was like we talk about tense moments, like we were talking about, Civil War, X-Men 97. But this scene, I believe, was tense, like more tense, but for different reasons. Just because, like, people die in Invincible all the time, but just the fact that it's someone that Mark, has feelings for, it hit home. And that's not even like the tip. That's not even the tip of tense moments in Invincible. But yeah, this show does tension really well, and Muscle Mommy. We got another Muscle Mommy here, by the way. For
Yeah,
you for
yeah.
you
That was the
for you
one thing I
skips.
felt. That was one thing I felt fucked up about. Was like, but she's hot.
Yeah,
Like she's kind of hot. I can't lie.
yeah,
But it's just like she was just, again. She was very matter of fact and just very cold and calculating.
very.
And she's like, I will kill this girl. I will rip her spine out, and I will kill everyone here unless you do what I say. And it's just like, ooh, like it was just it was a very it was a very tense scene, and just
Yeah,
those last 2 episodes are very tense, like, just
very.
hard to watch at times.
Yeah, yeah,
The last episode, you had, my boy, Sterling K. Brown just be this just deranged psychopath, and he's just like, he doesn't even care, he's beating the shit out of Mark's mom and
yeah,
breaking her arm, and I didn't expect that, like, I was kinda like I was under the guise of, like, "Oh, maybe he's gonna hurt her inadvertently," but I'm like, "Wait, this is Invincible. None of that shit's gonna happen, like, he's actually
yeah.
gonna hurt her." And he just, like, beats the fucking piss out of her and, like, breaks her arm, and, like, Invincible, like, I thought he was gonna
Snapped.
spare I thought he was gonna spare him, but, like, he snapped. He turned into what he was afraid of being, and that's his dad.
Yep.
And he just like, fucking bashed his brains in,
Yeah.
and then he had that line of, like, "I thought you were stronger."
I thought
Like,
so. I thought so too. I was like, he got all these like enhancements and all that, but I mean, when you're dealing with Invincibles, like no, like the title, ironically enough, was I thought you were stronger, like that, so simple, so to the point, and it definitely hit home. And the scene here, NSFW warning, like it's just like, oh, I gotta read the comics, but I don't want to spoil myself. But I want to read the comics though.
yeah, I'm staying away from the comics 'cause from
Yeah,
what I heard, like, the show is very close to the comics,
yeah,
and, that scene right there where he goes to another reality and it's Spider-Man, but it's not Spider-Man.
yeah,
And then he meets Batman, but it's not really Batman, or legally they can't say Batman. They just have to
yeah,
show somebody in a cape where
yeah,
it's, somebody who might be dressed as a bat. So, um, I forgot what I was gonna say. Like, this season felt better than the first season in a sense where the first season felt very incomplete,
yeah.
and this season felt like, okay, it's the end of a chapter, and we're moving on to the next chapter. And like, cause like I was kind of worried. I'm like, so how are they gonna fit everything else in with Mark's dad and Alan the alien? And then the show ends with Alan talking to Nolan, and Nolan's like, again, very matter of factly, he starts to feel emotion and you know disdain for what he did. He's like, I feel I don't know why, but I feel terrible about what I did.
Hmm.
I feel I feel remorse. And then he ends it with, I think I miss my wife.
Yeah,
Which sounds funny, but it's not, because it's just like he had that line in the last season where he's like, I do love your mom, but more like a pet.
yeah. That when I when that line
Fuck
came
him up.
out,
Fuck him up.
yeah, everyone's like, yo, like fuck this dude. But now it's like time has passed. He's regretful. Like he's starting to like gain. Like you see how Nolan is starting to become more like his son, and Mark is starting to become more like his dad. So you're gonna see you're gonna see that like coalescence where they're gonna become like each other. They're gonna become their opposite. Like Mark is gonna be more like his dad. You got a glimpse of that in the season finale, and you're gonna have Nolan become more like Grayson. It's something that he was like, you care about these people more than your own life. Like these people will be gone. Like you will live on, and everyone that you know will die, but you live on. And now it's like he's starting to realize, oh shit, like I have that connection. Like it's in there no matter what. Like it's in there. I have that connection. I have that longing, and I miss my wife. And it's just great character development. And I'm just interested to see where this goes, especially with Alan the Alien. But I like him. He's dope. And this whole show was so like this whole season was good. I'm just with the marketing and them splitting of the season. It was just they can't do that. They gotta release the season, just not the whole thing. Like I'm against just having all the episodes. Like I'm against that. Like give us just give us an episode each week, and I think that's the way to go. Like for streaming, uh, for streaming content, just put out an episode every week. But they got to do better with the marketing, and maybe people have addressed their grievances with that, because if you thought that, I thought that, everyone, I believe, had that same sentiment. So it's a lot of good from this season, regardless of all the the hiccups and things like that. But I'm very excited for like season three. I think I'm more excited about this show than I am like any other show for a while. And that's saying a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, like from what I heard, it's supposed to come a lot sooner, and hopefully, but yeah, just they need to promote it better,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But yeah, I can't wait. It's one of my favorite comic book properties
Yeah.
lately. That The Boys, now X-Men '97.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just you know, this gets the Culture Attack seal of approval.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Culture Attack, stamp of approval. Actually, that could be like a thing we could do going forward. Like we can give the seal of approval. Have
We
like a little logo.
Right, or we can do that. We can come up with like our own like different rating systems. Like,
Yeah.
if it's good, or like like if it gets an A, we'll have like a saying for it. If it's a B, a C, a D, an F.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we'll think of some. I'll brainstorm some ideas.
Same. Cause yeah, like I want this to be like very interactive, and definitely gonna ramp up the marketing machine, which is just posting the link all over social media. I
Mhm.
guess. Um but yeah, I'm very happy that this is, out in the ethos, out in the sphere that is the podcasting world. So happy about that. I feel generally, just genuine excitement just because I have so many ideas. But I had to be careful not to trip on myself, because you have carrying too many things. You
Right.
might just, yeah, like that's like my thing. But if we just take it one step at a time, and a lot of expletives were thrown in this episode, and it's okay. It's fine. Um, but I do think that we may have to have a late night show, after hours show, where we could just, say whatever the fuck we want.
Mhm.
Just saying. So, definitely stay tuned for that. Where we can just culture attack, but more raunchier, more spicy, and that way uh we're much more loose to discuss certain things we can't discuss on the main show, because you gotta have that boundary there. But yeah, absolutely. had fun with this. The show. We didn't get to talk about the Blair Witch residuals, but I figured talking about like two of the best shows, like two of the best animated shows, going on. I know Invincible finished not too long ago, but X-Men 97 is still going strong. But I wanted to talk about those because I'm really excited about X-Men 97 and Invincible. Like these two shows, there's a lot of hype behind it, and it's good to talk about. And also, we will talk about movies, have our movie review segments. We'll talk about wrestling when needed, probably next week, because this week I just wanted to focus on movies, animated shows, whatnot. Things are coming soon. So, and we'll work around a format as time goes along, and not to mention the late night, after hours show. Like that's something in the works too. But nonetheless, Drew, I think that's the show.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you coming on.
Appreciate you for having me on.
Of course. What you got going on in your side of the content space?
Uh, so I don't know if you guys know this. I have a wrestling podcast that I've been doing since 2018. It is on Wednesday nights every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time on Wrestling Soup's Discord. For whatever reason, I can't broadcast it on Spreaker. On
Mm,
my Spreaker app, it says that app isn't available, but I don't. It's fucking weird. Anyways,
mm.
I am there. You can catch me there with my podcast, my other tag partner. Me and Ruben have this show, but this is primarily an entertainment show. Ruben's my tag team partner here. My tag team partner on the Wednesday show is Justin from Spawnbuster Tees. Spawnbuster Tees is a store here in San Antonio. If you live in San Antonio, it's at a mall called Wonderland Mall of Americas. It is a wrestling shop where you can buy bobbleheads, action figures, shirts, socks, collectibles. CM Punk the movie. I'm playing. Anyone that got that reference, thank you. But no, it's my boy has it covered. Justin has had this store open for a year. Actually, he busted his ass and bet on himself, and it worked. He has his own store open, and I couldn't be any more prouder of him. Um, if you can't make the trip to San Antonio, he has a website where you can basically get the same shit. So spawnbustertees.com. And we had this show. Justin's been my co-host. Well, I hate saying co-host because I think co-host sounds kind of belittling. He's my tag team partner in crime. He's my podcasting partner in crime on this show for almost 2 years. It's going to be 2 years pretty soon. And we talk about wrestling. We talk about the world of wrestling, WWE, AEW, whatever comes up. He has a vast knowledge of wrestling. Um, I mean, he knows about shit that happened in like the 70s and the 80s. Like he might have Kevin Castle beat on some
Mm.
well, maybe not. I think Kevin Castle will kill me if I made that statement. So um he's almost there with Kevin Castle, almost, but maybe not all the way. But
Yeah.
so I don't need Kevin Castle coming after me. But yeah, just Justin's the man. What else can I say? But yeah, the experience. The experience is every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time, live on the Wrestling Soup Discord that Anthony Missionary Thomas was also giving on allowing me to do the show on there with Justin. Every now and then we have guests that come up. Ruben was there for 2 weeks straight.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
he'll show up every now and then. RJ might show up if he's able to hear us do the show because I know Discord is having problems for iPhone users. Which
Yeah, yeah.
which let me echo the sentiments from Mish. If you have an iPhone, it is not Wrestling Soup's fault. It is Discord. They did an update and they are trying to fix it. I don't know if they have, but for the meantime, go to WrestlingSoup.com on their Discord. You can actually go through Discord on WrestlingSoup.com, and it works just fine. You can actually listen to not just Wrestling Soup. You can listen to me, which Kyle K from the chat room, it works too. Like you can still listen to me through that show. I don't know if you'll be able to join. Yeah, I think you could, but yeah, just do that. And yeah, this Wednesday, same time, same channel. This Friday, actually, we're doing our Q&A for the month of April. Couldn't do this Saturday because of life got in the way, so we're gonna do it on Friday. And yeah, it's gonna be a special show because I know Friday is gonna be the beginning of the draft.
Yes.
And we're gonna do like a mix of a show and a Q&A show. So yeah, we got that going, guys. And I know I've just rambled for 5 minutes about nothing. But yeah, listen to the show. Listen to the
That's
show.
okay.
Listen to the show and support Spinebuster Tees.
Yes, sir. Definitely support Spinebuster Tees. Definitely support the experience. Drew Yari's, my partner in crime here in Culture Attack. Definitely support him on his wrestling podcast every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. That is 10 p.m. here in the East Coast. And yeah, definitely support like these guys are good. They're good people. Definitely support them. Give them a review. Uh, give them your money. I mean, not all of it. I mean, if you're balling like that, that's one thing. But definitely give them a review. Definitely give them a subscribe. Definitely give them something to show your support. And these guys support me, so I support them in return. And also for moi, yeah, like going forward, like doing Culture Attack, like this is something I always wanted to do. More the entertainment side, more having fun, a little bit of raunchiness. And yeah, like again, you can follow me on you can follow me on Twitter or X at Mr. Ruben Prime. You can follow the show on Spotify, type in Culture Attack, and you'll have some episodes on there. Some of my favorites, not all of them have been uploaded, but going forward, like this is basically a fresh start, episode 1 of Culture Attack. But as we go along, we will upload the retro episodes. I guess they consider retro. They consider retro
I mean,
episodes.
anything from a year ago, I think, is considered retro because it's like, really, we talked about that a year ago. It's like,
Yeah,
fuck, times have changed.
yeah. Time flies. Time effing flies. But definitely, just stay tuned for that. Um, maybe we'll upload video. We'll see. Because I think video. I think that's like the way to go. Um, just to have something visual. Like we'll have the audio stream, of course, but definitely I want to incorporate the video because I think that's the way to go. And
Do I have to wear pants?
I mean, I am, but it's optional. Just make sure don't do jumping jacks.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, don't.
Fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it'll be like this. That's something in the future, but for sure, I want to have a solid foundation. But yeah, definitely again, Culture Attack. Follow us on there on Spotify. Um, coming soon to all other major podcasting platforms. Be on YouTube very soon. Just bear with me, bear with us. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed recording this episode. Rambling, but it's okay. It's the fresh,
Fresh out the oven.
just fresh out the oven. Soon the bakery will open. I'm just gonna keep it at that. So, guys, I appreciate you guys listening to this on Spotify or wherever you listen to this. Greatly do. This is very fun, and exciting, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride that we're giving you. And with that being said, for Drew Yari, for myself, Ruben Prime, thank you so much for listening. This will be up by the end of the night. Gonna upload it right away. Just gotta, do that little edit and, just do my magic, but it will be up. So definitely stay tuned. We'll be back. We'll talk when we do the next episode, but definitely look out for it next episode very soon. And that being said, peace out. Love you guys. Later.
Peace.